What's up, guys? Blake201 here, and I'm here to talk about how to tell others you're intermittent fasting and dealing with others when you're intermittent fasting. I ended my last video how to properly begin intermittent fasting by saying only tell others when it's necessary. Reason being, first of all, when you're starting a new diet or anything new in life, I mean, how many times have you run into somebody who's starting this new awesome diet, this new awesome insert name here diet, and you know damn well they're not going to be doing it in like 3 weeks. All the time. All the time. So why subject yourself to possibly looking foolish if for some reason you decide intermittent fasting isn't for you? I'm not saying that's going to be the case. I'm not saying you will. But just in case, I would hold back that info unless you need to tell people. In my case, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't need to for at least 6 months. The only people who I told right away were my coworkers because I ate lunch with them normally and they noticed I wasn't having lunch. So I told them I was intermittent fasting. I explained it to them that I'd taken all my calories at nighttime and the reasons behind it. I also happened to continue to go out to lunch with them a lot of times. I didn't just sit in the office. I went out to lunch with them. They were eating. I would just grab coffee, shoot the shit, whatever. And they would have some negative things to say unintentionally. That's unhealthy. You're supposed to eat small meals spread out throughout the day in order to lose weight and or be fit. You're supposed to have protein every few hours. It's going to mess up your digestion. You must be starving. It must take a lot of willpower. All types of things. And I wasn't starving, obviously. I wasn't hungry at all. And it didn't take a lot of willpower. I adjusted to it very quickly. And but this happened over and over again. Every time it was like the topic of conversation. I tried to explain things to them, and it's a losing battle. It really is a losing battle. I mean, I eventually got fed up to the point where I was just like, look guys, I'm really not interested in your tiny little pathetic meals. This is a joke to me. And I mean, some of you may get irritated, some of you may get irritated sooner rather than later. However you handle it is, I mean, I guess you're not going to know until it happens, if it happens. But I understand why you get irritated. And you know what? I really can't blame these people because when I first read about intermittent fasting, I was like, this is bullshit. These guys are on steroids. You taking all your calories at night, you're just going to get fat. You don't eat all day, you're going to lose your gains, you're going to lose muscle, lean mass. I believed all of those things too. I was kind of getting to the point where I was miserable with what I was doing though, eating at a Tupperware, watching the clock, being hungry. So I saved that article, and it wasn't until a while later that I went back to that article. It was months later that I'm like, let me find an article on that fasting thing where you don't get hungry and you eat bigger meals. And then I looked at it with more of an open mind. But I was closed-minded at first too, so I can see why other people would unintentionally give you a hard time. Just realize that when you tell people, you're signing up for unintentional verbal, I don't want to call it harassment or abuse, but you're signing up, I guess that's what you're signing up for, unintentional verbal harassment. My friends didn't know for over 6 months. I only saw them, and I still only usually see my friends at nighttime unless it's in the summer. It wasn't in the summer, so it was finally summer. I was at a barbecue, pool party. They asked me what I wanted to eat. I told them I've been intermittent fasting for 6 months, explained it, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads, and they're like, well, I thought that's horrible for you. Aren't you supposed to eat small meals spread out throughout the day? And I was like, no. And they were looking at me. I'm at a pool party, I have no shirt on, and I was shredded at the time. That was one of my goals, to be really, really shredded right then. And I got shredded for the summer. So they saw all the progress I made, but they still had a lot of negative thoughts, or maybe like asking questions in kind of a negative way, not really believing everything. Some people think you're genetically gifted. A lot of people will think it's not going to last. Well, how long do you plan on doing this for? They think it's like this diet to like lose a few pounds and then go back to what you're doing and then maintain. It's not that. It's a different lifestyle. I'm eating meals bigger than way bigger than I ever was when I was getting fat. And I'm staying lean. I'm not getting hungry. It's really the most enjoyable way to live for me. So it's not how long do you plan on doing this? It's just, I plan on doing this forever. I mean, maybe I won't, but right now I just see no end in sight. That's me personally. So if you end up enjoying this thing, it's when you tell people, when you wait to tell people, it's much more easier when you have months and months. I had over 6 months of progress under my belt. I knew it worked. I knew it was for me. I knew it wasn't some temporary thing or some fad diet. So even though you're signing up for people to give you a hard time, it's easier to tell them after 6 months or more. Or, I mean, take it out as long as you can. The longer the better. As long as you can go without telling them. When you have all the success, you internally know that what you're doing is right. You know you're happy. So it's easier to tell people. My mother too. I don't see my mother all that often, so she didn't know for probably over 6 months. And when I told her, I mean, she saw the progress I've been making and everything else. I did see her over those 6 months. She just didn't know I was intermittent fasting. So, I mean, she obviously saw that I still had energy and I was okay and not going to die. So even though she was kind of skeptical about the whole thing, she kind of warmed up to it fairly quickly and became kind of fascinated with it as well. But just keep in mind, that's what it is. By choosing to do intermittent fasting, you're choosing to kind of be an outcast. That's it. You're signing up for it. If you're not okay with that, if you're not okay with the peer pressure from other people, intermittent fasting may not be for you just for that very reason, because you're going to have to deal with peer pressure. I mean, there are certain times, there are a couple times where I ate just to please others. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't even interested in eating, but I just ate just to, I guess, fit in or please others because they were giving me kind of a hard time about not eating, and I regretted it. I did it, I think, twice, and I regretted it both times. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I mean, keep in mind, guys, if you want to eat earlier than you normally would, you can. It's calories in, calories out. Don't worry about breaking your fast. You can if you want to. Just don't do it to please others if it's not going to please yourself. Don't be a people pleaser. Please yourself. Please. Other people I've told. My doctor. I went to get a physical recently, and I went to get it spur of the moment, and you have to be fasted to get a physical. And I was like, oh, I'm fasted, and I didn't eat anything today. So I went and got my physical, like, it was like within 2 hours. I just called and went right over, got it done. And my doctor was like, oh, you didn't eat anything today. He was like, oh, that's lucky. And he's like, well, he's like, you're still eating those huge sandwiches? He's like, because you've kept your weight down for some time now. I lost 60 pounds at one point, for those of you who don't know. And I used to, when I was getting fatter, I used to show my doctor the picture of my sandwiches I'd eat. And he would always laugh about it. But then I lost the weight a few years ago, and I've been keeping it down. So he was wondering how I kept the weight off, how I've been healthy. It's like, so you're still staying away from the sandwiches? I was like, actually, no. I was like, I eat bigger sandwiches than I was before. I just save up all my calories and spend them all at nighttime. And I still get my nutrients, though. And he looked at me and he was like, I do that sometimes. And I looked at him like, wow. I expected him to give me a hard time about not eating during the day and taking my calories in at night. But, I mean, I didn't call it intermittent fasting, but he was completely fine with it. Most of the time, you're not going to get these people, though. Most of the time, you're going to get the people who will just give you, it's not going to last, you're starving. How are you even standing right now? How am I standing right now? You can, and people are going to believe what they want to believe. You could be living proof. My coworkers still believe I get hungry. A lot of my friends still believe I get hungry. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You have to realize this stuff isn't going to change. So this video is less about how to tell people and realize that people are going to believe what they want, no matter what. And you eventually will have your moments of triumph. My coworkers, it was like over a year that I had eaten in front of them, and I went to my boss's bachelor party in Atlantic City. I was with him, some of my colleagues, and some of his friends. It was like 5 a.m. We're in Atlantic. I said Atlantic City. Yeah, I ordered I ordered like 14 sandwiches. The bill was like $85. I like cleared the table. I ate the sandwiches right in front of them, and and basically they didn't have much to say besides, holy shit, I can't believe this. Because I validated everything I've been telling them. My friends too, I have a lot of different groups of friends who a lot of times some friends haven't seen me eat. Maybe they've seen me on Instagram, but on Instagram you really don't understand how big my meals are. So there's new friends all the time, or friends who I've been friends with for a while who haven't seen me eat. Maybe we go out for drinks and we go to hit the diner, and I do eat. When I finally do eat in front of them, they're like, so you're gonna eat all that? They're like, they have some like tiny bullshit meal, and I have like 4 meals in front of me at the diner, and I'm like, yeah, this is not even a big meal for me. And they're like, they'll repeat it. They're like, you're really gonna eat all this? And I'm like, yeah, this really isn't a big meal for me. I've been telling you this entire time. They're like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, but what? I've been telling you this. You've seen it on it. You've probably seen it on Instagram. I've been telling you this. And they'll start asking me questions about intermittent fast. All of a sudden, when people see you doing this, they're kind of interested. It might be for like 5 minutes until they like go back to their own bullshit beliefs. But you just own them. You're just stunting on their faces right in front of them at the diner where they're eating their little BS meal, and you're eating four nice meals. And I'm not saying you're going to be eating 4 nice meals. I mean, obviously, eat according to your own goals and your own energy expenditure. But you will have your moments of triumph regardless. And people are going to believe what they want to believe regardless. You think a 200-pound bodybuilder, let's say a 200-pound bodybuilder, he's been eating out of Tupperware for like 5 years, these tiny meals, and you think he sees a 100-pound thick girl who's eating a meal in front of him that's like 3, 4, maybe 5 times the size of his meals? Do you think he really wants to believe that intermittent fasting works, and he's been unnecessarily making himself miserable for 5 years? Maybe hungry all the time, eating out of Tupperware, tiny meals, not satisfying, watching the clock, not really having a social life. Do you want to believe he's been doing that for 5 years when he could have been not hungry while eating giant meals? No, he'll just put up a mental wall and be like, no, that's bullshit. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And just continue doing that miserable thing. I mean, anybody, if somebody's like kind of fit, like they work out, but they never really reach their own personal goals, they've always wanted to lose weight and always struggle with it and been trying to do like the conventional or popular fit thing with the guzzling protein shakes while on the treadmill and just killing their own progress while not knowing. Those people, you really think they want to believe that they could have been eating bigger meals while getting shredded? They see you eating like a fat ass and getting shredded. They're going to believe you're genetically gifted, you're lucky. They're going to believe whatever they want to believe, and just let them. I mean, I'm personally happy, and I just let people do whatever the hell they want. If people have questions, I will be happy to answer them. If somebody's having trouble losing weight, I may present intermittent fasting as an option, or I may ask them, what do you have for breakfast? How many calories, and try to figure out how many calories that is, just estimate and be like, well, maybe try skipping breakfast and present that as an option. But I never push intermittent fasting on anyone because I'm happy. It's the people who push things on you who aren't happy. Misery loves company, and people just want you to join them, and people will be like, no, this diet's awesome, and maybe they've gotten shredded, maybe they have, but they're probably miserable, and they're probably not enjoying life, and they want you to be miserable and not enjoy life with them. So when you're enjoying life, you're going to find that you're probably going to find that you don't care what anybody else does. You don't care if you're eating with them, because whatever you eat later is going to be way more satisfying than whatever they're doing. So don't be a people pleaser. Please yourself. Live your life. Best of luck to you guys. If you just started intermittent fasting, if you've been doing this for a while, please comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. If you have anything to say or anything, your own personal situations you might want to add in the comments below. Also, guys, let me know if you want me to do a video on intermittent fasting and dating, and intermittent fasting and relationships. I've done both. I'd be happy to do a video on that if it's a popular enough topic and I know it's going to help people out. I'm trying to do the videos which I know are going to help the most people first, and then get down to the less popular things. That's it for me, guys. Until next time, check me out on Instagram. You guys have a good one. It's time for me to... It's Friday night, 3:30 a.m. I still gotta go grab dinner, make something to eat. Damn, it's getting late. Oh my god, I have energy and I'm not gonna die.